So yeah, that was all the big news for today. But I did, I kind of broke the internet last night with Twitter. I feel like I feel bad about it. I kind of like saw a big pile of dynamite, lit a match, threw it over my back, and walked off. You know, cool guys don't look at explosions. I kind of just let it all kind of explode. Basically, what I tweeted out on Facebook, on Twitter, is that Xbox, the rest of the 2022 Xbox has a better lineup than PS5, and I had a graph up of all the games. PS5, there are 4 games that are announced for 2022, and Xbox has a massive list of games, like about 20 20 games, and people are mad. People are very, very mad at me, and it's one of my most, well, it is my most popular tweet of all time, and it completely blew up the internet. So I thought I would talk about it briefly.
There's something wrong with there's something wrong with the day one Game Pass. You mentioned about 5 games. I think there's a lot more than just 5. It'll be like 20 or even 100 of those games on Game Pass.
Yeah, so I got this list up, and I put Stray on the PlayStation 5 side, and they're like, why haven't you put that as day one on PlayStation? So, well, if I did that, I would mean I'd have to get all the Xbox exclusives, and also put them on day one on Game Pass as well. I said, like, each game I'm only going to put on the list once. Otherwise, I would have duplicates. The list would be ridiculously long, because literally every exclusive is day one Game Pass on Xbox. So it's a stupid argument, that is, what people were making. Then people were going, quality over quantity, and I'm like, really, you think a 9-year-old remake of a game that's already had a remaster with less features is good quality at £70?
Well,
no.
No. If you think about it, that like the big reason why I had to choose between the Xbox and the PlayStation is because most of the games you get on both of these platforms can be played on any of these platforms. It's not really about the exclusives. It's about which console would you prefer. So you get like lots of people who are interested in PlayStation. Like, I think the PlayStation is alright. I'm comfortable with it. But I just find the Xbox to be good when it comes to multimedia. I like the Xbox Live as a whole. And I think the PlayStation 4, I was really hyped for it. And you can like do social media street shares. But it wasn't long until like Xbox caught up to that, and then the PlayStation is still lacking features, and that's when like I moved over to Xbox. Like you got the gamer tag changed, you got equivalent of Game Pass, but I think it's a bit little too late when I switched over to Xbox, because I prefer their Xbox Live features compared to the PlayStation, and that's what made me feel good. And I'm also glad, like now Minecraft, you now like have to get an Xbox account, the Microsoft account, to not only like play the Bedrock edition of Minecraft, but also you can play the Java as well, which means like it's no longer you no longer have a Mojang account, because instead you have to get that Microsoft account in order to play both versions of Minecraft. Hence, they now like releasing Minecraft that you can choose to either play on Bedrock or on Java.
Yeah. I mean, and you also get, I assume you get achievements then. That'd be so strange to play it on the PlayStation and have a load of achievements pop up on the Xbox version. So I was just looking at this tweet. So, 60 retweets, 24/7 quote tweets, 576 likes, which is the biggest tweet I've ever done in my entire life. And it's still growing, and I'm still getting... the whole of this podcast, my phone's been going off with people commenting on this post. I started a war, started a riot. I have a PS5, I have an Xbox. Xbox, I much prefer it, honestly. The argument you could say is quality over quantity. The quality, God of War Ragnarok looks pretty damn good, looks pretty awesome. Is it coming this year? Who knows? Last of Us Remake, I have zero interest in buying because I've already completed it like 600 times, and I've already got the remaster, the remake. The remaster. I see I'm confusing myself now with the re's.
And Stray may not be the...
Stray looks fun.
It's nice to play as a cat, but it may not be the cat's whiskers.
I was going to say the cat's pajamas, that's funny. We were great minds. And then the Xbox side, like, all the comments I keep saying are like, oh, Xbox games are rubbish. Like, they're all double-A and indie. I'm like, well, double-A and indie games can be great. I mean, High on Life, I am so excited for that game. I cannot wait for High on Life. Warhammer Dark Tide looks amazing. It's going to be a really cool co-op shooter. Atomic Heart looks amazing. That's not an exclusive, by the way. People caught me out on that. That's fair enough. I renege on that one. But it is Day 1 Game Pass. And it looks great. It looks like Bioshock almost. What else is there on the list? I'm looking at the list now.
Bear in mind that...
As Dusk Falls, I'm interested in now, because I've been watching videos about it. It looks like Detroit or like a Heavy Rain or whatever. It's made by the person who made Heavy Rain. But it's an interesting art style. I think it looks cool.
Are you talking about... Wait. Are you talking about Detroit?
Yeah, so there's a new game called As Dusk Falls coming out for Xbox in the next week or so. Which the art style, the joke the people keep saying is the art style looks like Grand Theft Auto, the loading screen, the game. Because it looks like the loading screen images from Grand Theft Auto. It's like it's all hand-drawn and stuff. It looks nice. It's made by the same person who made one of the people who wrote Heavy Rain, and it's got like the same kind of choices and consequences. So it's one of those type of games like Heavy Rain or Detroit. Apparently, there's hundreds of consequences and stuff, and it looks interesting. I think it looks. I'm intrigued to play it.
Well, I don't know about that because Quantum Dream, the developer of that, because the Heavy Rain is a glitchy, buggy mess. And sapped away my enjoyment. But then it has its moment. But Detroit is the example of the worst example of a civil rights allegory. Because there's a lot of Holocaust and even like a lot of segregation. And like they're doing that to robots and androids. Like I watched a video that explains about that, despite me not playing the game. And it just already shows like there's a lot of discrimination that they try to put that across. When obviously that's not the whole point. It's just the whole point. It's just like accepting robots into society. But instead it just seems like as if the robots are being segregated and stuff like that. And now they just have to go into whites in order to prove their worth. But that's not the whole point. The whole point is to be able to have a much better understanding of what the dealing with the differences between them, not having to go back at the humans or stuff like that. I mean, this is a bit messed up. But talking about it, I just don't know about the Dusk Falls. It's more simple, and they promise as if it goes into story levels of Breaking Bad. So I think it's really interesting in how other people would play it. But
I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
Oh. It's like it's all about a bank heist that goes wrong, and then it's like how your life continues on after the bank heist. I think it looks interesting. It looks like they've got multiple routes, and you can play it multiplayer and stuff. I'm excited to try it. I mean, I like those narrative type games, and it looks like we're finally getting one on Xbox, and it looks fun.
Yeah, you can also join them on like mobile as well. So I'm thinking like, maybe if it's possible that you could do the live stream, I join on my phone or computer, and then see what decisions we make. So
get everyone. I'm not very good with live streaming, but I can see if we can get everyone on board. That'd be a fun game to live stream. To be fair, that would be cool.
I think it will be just me and you, really, because I think last time we tried to get the people across, and something about offensive messages tells us that we should not really invite strangers over.
That's true, yeah. People could be very horrible. The other game I'm looking forward to is Plague Tale Requiem. Looks like a better version of Last of Us 2. Last of Us 2 sucked. I'm just starting fires all over the place today. I don't care. The Plague Tale Requiem looks really cool. You can control the rats and stuff still, and then you've also got a crossbow now, and you can stab people in the back. It's a very bloody cool stealth game where you're playing as Alicia and her brother. Oh, what's his name? Hugo and Alicia. I really enjoyed the first game. Was a lot of fun, and this one looks a lot more polished. It looks like the leap between, again, Last of Us 1 and Last of Us 2. It looks like that kind of leap. And I'm hoping it's not going to be a disappointment like Last of Us 2 was. But I always have to keep dropping that in. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. It's on Game Pass as well, so that's probably one of the top of my list. And Forza Horizon 5, Hot Wheels, baby, doing some Hot Wheels racing. That's gonna be a lot of fun too. I mean, I'm looking at this list. People are mocking it, but I think it's a really good list of games. Even though there's not that one AAA banger coming out this year. There's not that one. There's not Starfield's not there, or there's not a Halo, or there's not like that one big game. But we've got a lot of AA and indie and good DLC stuff coming out. I feel like we can still got a lot to play this year, which are a lot of really good games.
Yes.
What do you think? Do you agree or disagree?
I think I would agree, but I think if we just somehow look through and see what else that we can add to the PlayStation stuff, because I feel as if Sony's got like more stuff there, but then I mean they did the state of play, and some of the games you've already been to before, so it just gives you a question like, are they really touting their exclusives that are likely to be original or sequels than just like remakes?
Well, the only state of play they've done this year's or showcase was Jeff Keighley's, or before Jeff Keighley's, and it was third party. So it was like, oh, Resident Evil 4, but that's coming to Xbox. Close to Hall coming to Xbox. Like the big list of games that are still coming to Xbox, there wasn't really any first party games. I'm expecting they're going to be doing a big blowout conference thing in September. I'm not the PlayStation expert, but like at this moment in time, I believe those are the only 4 games we know that are coming to PlayStation. There probably is more, but that's all I could find when I was looking it up. And that's why people are mad. But I feel like, don't worry, PlayStation fans. I think there will be more games coming out this year for your console. Just they haven't announced them yet. And I did say that in my comment, but people didn't seem to people seem to ignore that part, and people seem to ignore people. I don't understand how you can read a simple image like this and get it like completely wrong. It's basically at the top it says games coming in the second half of 2022, and then people kept going, what about Final Fantasy Remake Part 2? It's like, well, that's 2023. What about this game? That's also 2023. What about this game? That's on the list already. What about this game? That's 2023. It's like, I get so many comments like going, what about Spider-Man 2? It's like, well, that's not coming out this year. If it was, you'd be on the list. Also, if it was games that were coming out, next year, the Xbox list would be even longer because it'd have Starfield, Redfall, Forza, Minecraft Legends, Wulong, just to name 5 there. The list on the Xbox side would be even longer if we included 2023 games.
Yeah. Well, I think at the end of the day, it's just, I think that what the tweet taught to you more is that it's really easy to get popularity by pissing gamers off. If you go on and say like, Xbox is better than PlayStation because of those games, it's like, no, you're wrong. And this just goes into the more heated argument about all this. So console wars means money.
I'm not gonna lie, I did post this because I wanted to get some I wanted to bait some people, and I did want it to be a fun console war conversation. But I also feel that this is people have pointed out there's a couple of things I've done wrong in there, but mostly it's an accurate representation for what we know is coming the rest of the year. For the most part, there's 1 or 2 games that I like I said earlier, Atomic Heart is multi-plat. I didn't realise that. And I put the DLC for Fallout 76 and Elder Scrolls Online on there. But technically they're multi-platform, but I forgot because Xbox owns both of them. So I was just like, yeah, they're first party. I'll chuck them on the list. Didn't even think about it, really.
Honestly, if I were to get more likes, then if I was to go on Twitter and try to be a wild owl on it, then I'd just go in and say, well, games are for kids.
If you're letting a kid play Scorn, then you're a bad parent. That's all I can say about that.
Too bad. I don't have any children in the moment.
I said that to someone on Twitter, on Facebook, and they shut them right up because they're going, "Oh, Xbox has all kiddie games."
So does PlayStation.
Scorn's a kid's game? Bloody hell, I'll be scarred for life if I played that as a child. Jesus. No, thank you.
They obviously haven't seen the Nintendo's catalogue.
I was about to say, Nintendo's more kiddie. And I love Nintendo, don't get me wrong. And also, if we put the lists next to each other right here, Nintendo beats both of these lists combined. Even though I don't want to sound like a Nintendo fanboy, but they do. They have AAA exclusives every month this year, and they got more AAA exclusives lined up for all the next year as well. So, if in a competition-wise, I feel like Nintendo is still head and shoulders when it comes to first party anyway. It's third parties where they fall down and lack of features like Game Pass and stuff like that.
Well, bear in mind that Nintendo eShop still has loads of games, including visual novels and puzzles. Yeah. But I mean, this is the same problem with Xbox, where they got lots of shovelware in as well. Yeah. But some of these games could be good, but I think it's just turned into a saturated market eventually. So, why were you buying these games? Oh, easy gamer score. But okay, that's a good enough reason. So now it's just like, buy the game, you get achievements. So easy enough.
But for me, it's more of why are you playing this game? It's on Game Pass. I didn't have to pay anything for it. Oh, okay.
Now I like to say that what's really good is there's an Idea Xbox Demo Fest, and there's like lots of games demonstrate try. So I think there's a few games that are good, but the one that I like to mention, because I worked in this kind of field before, is Stuffed. It's an upcoming multiplayer game where you play as teddy bears and you're supposed to like shoot things at toys. From what I've seen, while I was working at Launchpad, because this is a Falmouth Launchpad game, you get like
I'll look for that.
Yeah, they were working on the multiplayer, got the teddies to like get weapons and shoot at things, and I thought, hey, that's quite fun. Like, it's more of a kid-friendly thing. So I've got the demo downloading, so I'm gonna have to try that out. But it's not the only game.
How good it is.
Yeah, that's not the only game that's gonna come out from Falmouth Launchpad, which even though it took years, because last time I seen it is in 2019. There's also like I think it's not moving out, but Get Packed, and that game came out on Xbox as well. That's also from Falmouth Launchpad. Now I'm just thinking what about the University of Wales games? Oh yes, there's Cube, and I think I saw that there's going to be a 10th anniversary edition of Cube coming soon to the consoles. So
man, that makes me feel old. I did testing on that game. I wonder if I'm in the credits. I should be in the credits. I've never checked though, because I did game testing for it. So
you did.
Yeah. They had a test. They had like a room in the university, and they go, "Do you want to come in and test the game and play it for a couple of hours?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll play a game for free for a couple of hours." And I just played around with played Cube when it was still in beta form. I'm hoping I'm in the credits. I've never checked. You let me know in the comments below if I'm in the credits for Cube.
Yeah.
And I also reacted to Cube 2, and the people commented on my reaction because they recognised me from university, so that's funny. So that's funny stuff. Thank you for listening to the X Marks the Box podcast. Follow me on Twitter @PotatoChief or on YouTube @PotatoChief, or follow us on all podcast services. Thank you for listening.